I was a volunteer firefighter from 1987 all the way to 2000. In May of 2000, I became a paid firefighter. My name is Raymond Gary. I'm a retired fireman. I became a firefighter, or fireman as we used to call it, in 1987. Went to the academy. And I retired due to a spinal injury back in 2015. My first fire when I was a volunteer was very misleading as far as how hot and how bad fires get. It was a smaller home that had caught fire in the center, and we extinguished it very quickly, and it looked like a big fire, big smoke. When we got there, we put water on it for maybe 2 minutes and it was out. So I kind of thought, wow, this is gonna be an easy job. Walk in, put some wet on the red, and that's it. Our academy practice fires were bigger and larger and scarier than the actual one. My last training fire before I was an official volunteer fireman was a 2.5-story antique looking old farmhouse from like the late 1800s. It was like a 4,000 square foot home, and we did multiple burns in it. And once it finally got going, we were standing on the second floor while fire was lapping up between the wood slats of the house between your legs. So you could actually see the guy in front of you having flames bouncing off his butt. And that was very nerve-wracking, starting to think, wow, this is really big. It was a great practice fire, which they really don't do too much anymore for training fires. Everything's pretty much simulated into a controlled environment, such as a building that's made to have fires inside of it. It doesn't actually burn. So when you do practice training now, they don't use old houses or crack houses like we used to. And they would go up, and every once in a while they'd hit a piece of wood that's called lighter pine, which is a pine tree that had dried or were struck by lightning that created the sap to be a very explosive accelerant. When the sap got hot enough to ignite, it burnt like gasoline. And if the whole house was made out of that wood, it was a real hot mess. I do physical therapy pretty much from day one. You have to keep yourself in shape as a fireman, so you're always trying to get stronger and healthier. So you're always doing physical activities, working out, training. When you sustain an injury, you have to implement the therapy of that injured part into your physical training. And since I sustained multiple injuries, there's certain exercises that I do for my injuries, for my knee, for my shoulder, and lastly for my back. And I basically keep myself on a somewhat routine where I'm doing that at least once every 3 or 4 days. Lately, I've been doing water therapy for my knee. I have to see a special work comp doctor, and he felt the best thing for my knee to keep it healthy so I can walk while I'm getting old is to do water therapy, which has turned out quite well. And I'll be probably doing that on and off for the rest of my life.
Do you have any advice for someone who wants to be a firefighter?
How do you handle stressful situations? Not just when it's your life in danger, but when someone else's life is in danger. Can you handle that type of mental stress?